Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are finally settling the score in the ultimate showdown between the top four heavyweights of the AI world. I mean, we've got ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and Deepseek. And let's be honest, it feels like every single week there's a new model dropping, claiming to be the absolute best. It can be super overwhelming just trying to cut through the noise, right? But today, we're breaking it all down visually, so you know exactly where the chips actually fall.
Because here's the thing. If you're looking to maximize your productivity, the core question you need to ask yourself right now isn't which AI is the smartest in some lab test. No. You need to be asking which AI gives me the absolute best use case efficiency for my specific daily tasks and the greatest cost benefit for my wallet. Your time and your money are incredibly valuable. Using the wrong model for the wrong job, well, that's just a massive efficiency drain. So, to answer that, here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll meet the big four AI models. Then we'll look at the power and research giants, followed by the reasoning and value disruptors. After that, a head-to-head feature showdown, and finally, we'll match you to your perfect model. Let's dive in.
Okay, Section 1, the big four AI models. Let's meet our contenders.
To really wrap our heads around these models, it helps to think of them as distinct personas. Think of ChatGPT as your Swiss Army knife. You know, it's ready for a bit of everything. Gemini, on the other hand, operates more like a massive research laboratory. Claude functions as your high-level intellectual co-writer. And finally, Deepseek is your budget performance machine. Seriously, keep these analogies in mind as we go. They are literally the perfect cheat sheet for understanding the core value of each tool. Moving right along to Section 2, the power and research giants. ChatGPT versus Gemini. Now, these are the two most mainstream behemoths in the space right now, but they take entirely different approaches. ChatGPT is this very strong generalist, basically the ultimate one-stop shop. Gemini, though, possesses a highly specific superpower, deep research and immense context. It's built from the ground up to ingest massive amounts of data and connect the dots for you. When we put their pros side by side, their specific use case efficiencies become super obvious. ChatGPT's magic is in its incredible balance. It has strong writing, coding, brainstorming, plus excellent workflows and a great UI. It's built for seamless daily productivity. But then look at Gemini. It pushes for massive context windows, meaning you can feed it just giant documents. Plus, it has deep web-connected research and incredible integration with the Google ecosystem. I mean, Docs, Sheets, Gmail, Search. If you basically live in Google Workspace, Gemini's efficiency is incredibly hard to ignore. But hey, no tool is perfect, right? ChatGPT can definitely be a bit overly confident when it's just flat out wrong. And from a cost-benefit perspective, you really do have to pay for that premium tier to unlock its actual power. Gemini, meanwhile, can sometimes feel a bit too conservative in its answers. And honestly, its writing style can feel much less distinctive or creative compared to the others. All right, on to Section 3, reasoning and value disruptors. Let's talk about Claude and Deepseek. So while ChatGPT and Gemini are the household names, these two are aggressively shaking up the established hierarchy. Claude is armed with this deep thinking superpower. It really focuses on massive cognitive heavy listing and nuanced understanding. Deepseek, on the other hand, completely flips the script. It's defined by its performance per dollar superpower. It's an aggressive value disruptor in the market, built to give you top-tier output for a fraction of the cost. And this divide brilliantly highlights the difference between absolute capability and absolute value. Claude arguably offers the best long-form writing out there, excellent instruction following, and a stellar coding reputation. It even has a reported 1 million token beta context window. That yields incredibly thoughtful answers for huge documents. Deepseek, conversely, offers extremely cheap APIs compared to those frontier models. You get great reasoning for the price point, alongside an open-weight appeal that developers just love. For sheer cost benefit, Deepseek is unmatched. But let's look at the compromises you make here. Claude, because of that deep thinking nature, can sometimes be verbose or honestly a bit too cautious. Plus, it has a smaller overall ecosystem than ChatGPT. Deepseek's immense cost efficiency means it has a less polished consumer ecosystem, it can be less consistent, and it's often weaker than the top closed models when you throw the absolute hardest, most complex tasks at it. You're basically trading some top-end polish for incredible budget performance. Section 4, the head-to-head feature showdown. Let's actually rate these models. When we ruthlessly grade these features side by side, this right here becomes your ultimate use case efficiency map. Notice that in general intelligence, pretty much everyone is sitting at 5 stars. But look at the nuances. For writing, Claude hits an elite rating, while the others are just excellent or good. For research, Gemini takes the elite crown. When it comes to long context, Gemini and Claude are both elite. And then down at the bottom, looking purely at cost efficiency, Deepseek is the absolute sole model to secure that excellent rating.
If we were handing out awards based on that data, here is exactly who wins out in these specific categories. The gold medal for best writing, that goes to Claude, with ChatGPT taking silver. Best research is Gemini first, ChatGPT second. Best creativity flips back to ChatGPT taking the gold, with Claude taking silver. And for best cheap option, well, DeepSeek takes the gold uncontested.
Yet, despite this incredibly tight competition and, the specialized brilliance of models like Claude and Gemini, the data points to one specific conclusion for the general user. ChatGPT still currently holds the #1 overall spot. It remains the best one overall assistant simply because it is just so exceptionally balanced across every single category.
Finally, Section 5, matching users to models based on use case and cost benefit.
Let's apply everything we've just learned to your specific daily realities. If you are a creator or YouTuber juggling multiple formats, business ideas, and content, ChatGPT is your ideal tool. If you're a researcher or student dealing with large documents and web queries, Gemini is your perfect match. If you're a novelist or serious professional writer, you absolutely need Claude's deep thinking. And if you are a startup developer looking for cheap experimentation and incredible cost benefits, DeepSeek is unequivocally your go-to.
The crucial takeaway here is this. There just isn't one universal winner anymore. Yes, ChatGPT is the best generalist, but for highly specific tasks, Claude or Gemini will actively beat it. Your choice really must be dictated by your specific day-to-day workflow. Actually, relying on just one AI for everything, it's becoming a really inefficient way to work. In fact, the ultimate recommendation for maximizing both power and cost efficiency is to pair them up. If you could only use two, the most complementary combinations are taking the ultimate generalist, ChatGPT, and pairing it with a specialized powerhouse. So either ChatGPT plus Claude for incredible writing and reasoning, or ChatGPT plus Gemini for unmatched research and context. The era of a single AI doing everything perfectly for you is over. We are firmly in the era of specialized workflows. You've seen the data, the cost benefits, and the efficiency breakdowns. So I leave you with this question. Which two models will you combine today to build your perfect workflow? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.